The Hilton sale is on. Now through September 29th, you can save up to 20% on stays this fall and beyond. Long weekends, last-minute getaways, holiday gatherings. There's a Hilton stay for all of them. More moments, more experiences, more destinations. Now 20% off for a limited time because it matters where you stay. Don't wait. Book by September 29th and save up to 20% at Hilton.com. Terms apply. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by two veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Let's start with our heads down, boys and girls. We have somber news tonight. On September 17th, 2025, the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment lost 4 warriors. United States Army Sergeant Jada Lynn Good, 23, of Mount Vernon, Washington. Army Sergeant Donovan Scott, 25, of Tacoma, Washington. Army Chief Warrant Officer 3, Andrew Cully, 35, of Sparta, Missouri. And my friend and brother, I've known 10 years, knew for 10 years, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Andrew Krause, 39, of Sanibel, Florida. Keep them in your thoughts, your prayers, their families in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this sudden change in life. And they go through this life, and we'll be there for them. But did you hear that? The boys are here tonight. They don't want to hear about somberness. There's not a storm outside. It's the sound of the Misfit Nation coming alive. The ToosDay Crue. It's a brand new week. And the crew is back to light this place up. We've carried the weight. We stood strong. And now it's time to crank the volume up to 11 and bring that heat. This is not just another Tuesday night. This is the ToosDay Crue. The night for real talk. Raw stories, big laughs, and the kind of energy that only happens right here. So, Misfits, are you ready to turn it loose? Are you ready to get loud, fired up, and unstoppable? Then make some noise, because here come the voices of grit, resilience, and chaos. your Tuesday tag team. That's Cagney, that's Lacey, that's Steven and Jake. Let's get it, boys.
I got the Blues Brothers in my head. Can you see the light? I can see the light.
Let's get ready to rumble.
When I hit the lottery, I'm going to pay him to start the show for us.
We can do this. We can surely do this. Hey, brother, how's your day going?
Good. I did a lot of traveling. I'm up in upstate New York right now, hanging out in a hotel room, doing live.
I bet
beautiful people.
I bet the leaves are beautiful up there right now.
Oh, they're turning already. Being a colorblind man, they are different colors. I couldn't tell you exactly what they were, but they're there.
They're starting to turn. Yeah, well, they're starting to turn down here. Of course, we didn't have much rain here at the later part of summer, so they started falling pretty quick. But they're starting to turn. This morning it was nice, and it wasn't really crisp outside. It was kind of humid, but man, it was beautiful. Myself and Mrs. Holland went to Nashville today, hung out together, just had a good time. We had some doctoring stuff we had to do down there. Before we go too far, I would like to mention that tonight's presentation of the ToosDay Crue is sponsored by Inert Mugs. Go to inertmugs.com. Let me get that in there.
Back it up a little.
inertmugs.com. And if you notice, if I got any red leg artillery folks out there, this here is a WP Smoke 155 projectile. And it's got the nomenclature. It's got what size it is. It has and it has the Dodak on the bottom of it. So it is painted up, got the nice paint on it. And let me tell you what, these things keep things cool and they keep things hot. So get on to inertmugs.com and get you one of these. Great investment.
We got to get you on TV or maybe doing TikToks.
Dude, I want to go to QVC, man.
This is amazing.
I'm gonna start advertising my ShamWow.
You go from taking apart bombs to selling products. That's pretty damn good.
hey, yes. Hey, Stephen, we got a great guest this evening. We have Logan, straight up from the south side of Chicago, through the Air Force, served our country during a time of war. Salute you for that, Logan. And afterwards got out, made his transition from the military life to civilian life. And, like so many of us, things didn't go perfect, but hey, he reached down, he grabbed them bootstraps, pulled himself up, and now he's doing great things. And we're going to get him in here and let him talk about it. Let's go.
What's up? What's up, friends? How are you?
What's up, Logan?
Good, how are you?
Life is good. Life is good. Even when I'm bad, I'm still good. Hold on, Jake. I need to see that inner mug one more time. That's pretty cool. I definitely need to grab me one of those.
Okay, there's the back side of it. It's Inert Mugs. And then if you spin it around, and he's got all kinds. I got our producer. He was a chemical guy in the Army. I got him a chemical round. And, this guy's got HE rounds. He's got smoke rounds, just all different kinds of stuff. He's a retired Marine EOD guy.
Love it. Love supporting.
And yeah, hey, that as a matter of fact, he was on the show and we bought a bunch of mugs. So
very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. I've seen a lot of knickknacks and tchotchkes, but that's pretty unique.
All right, so Jake gave the 5-cent version of your life. Why don't you jump in, go back as far as you want, and tell us your story?
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's a heck of a story, and it's all true. It's all true. That's the crazy part. So I grew up on the south side of Chicago, as mentioned, and to a mother who had mental illness, and she struggled from bipolar. And so disorder, and as a child, you don't really know how to handle that. You know something isn't right, but you're just trying to figure out, like, hey, how can I keep my mom happy? I want her to be happy so I can go play with my toys and have fun and just do my thing. So that was a challenge, but also growing up in a religious cult before I was born, my mom found herself subscribed to a religious organization, and it was pretty restrictive in terms of not necessarily a compound with barbed wire or like your Waco, Texas situation, but more of a super restrictive in the mindset. And as a result, we, as a child, little Logan wasn't able to, I wasn't able to watch cartoons as a child or eat chocolate or have any caffeine. We weren't allowed to play sports. And as a child, man, that's tough. You can't, growing up with Jordan in the 90s, I mean, how could you not watch sports?
Oh, well, yeah. And especially on the south side of Chicago, I mean, I've been through there. There's basketball courts everywhere.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
And we didn't celebrate holidays. So it felt like every step of the way, there was just another way that I was different from everyone else. And I couldn't go to participate in gym class or participate in recess and things of that nature. And it was just like, man, as a teenager, I just wanted the pain to end. I didn't want to, it wasn't that I wanted new shoes or new clothes or anything like that. I just didn't want to be different from the rest of the kids. I just didn't want to be made fun of or different. And so I remember viscerally leaving church one Friday night, looking down the street and thinking it wouldn't be so bad if this truck hit me and just ended all the pain. And that is a really tough place for a teenager to be.
Oh, you know what? You're confused enough as a teenager as it is. To throw that on top of it, man, I can't imagine.
It was difficult. It was incredibly difficult. And thankfully, I still don't really remember how I got through that particular situation, but I knew I needed to get the heck out of that situation, that religious organization. So I ended up joining the Air Force, and I ran away from home. And, I say ran away, but I went to live with my uncle for a few months in Florida, who my uncle and my mom were estranged at the time. But spent some time with him before I joined the Air Force, and, thinking that just getting away was just going to solve all of my problems and I could reinvent myself and be a normal person. And I definitely reinvented myself, but, it's weird when you go through some things as children, if you don't deal with them properly, they kind of linger and they follow you through life. And so when I, loved joining the Air Force, got to reinvent myself, got to be a part of a great organization and travel the world and do things that I never imagined, I found myself in Iraq at the age of 26. And it was one of those situations where at Joint Base Balad, where I was assigned, we got mortar attacked and small arms and artillery fired at us 7 to 8 times a day. And there is no amount of training to prepare you for facing your mortality every single day, multiple times a day, seeing your brothers and your sisters just kind of terrorized by this facing your mortality, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
I was on the honor guard, and we went through those ceremonies, putting, plenty of good people on planes, and whether they were injured or passed on, sending them to launch stool back to Germany and back to the United States. It's tough. And coming back, I really struggled with why was I chosen to make it back out of all of these people that were probably more deserving than me, and it was really difficult. So I came back, in some ways it was this weird dichotomy of I knew I was living in my comfort zone and that I was destined for more and greater things, but also really struggling with facing these life or death experiences so regularly. And my body physically came back home. My mind was stuck there for a really long time.
Yeah. And I have to ask you a question right
Please,
now.
please.
You was talking about, the mortar attacks and everything. And I spent a short time on Balad. So I kind of know that, matter of fact, where the fire station was. And I think the MPs, the Army little fire station, the MPs had their little dog compound down there. We used to walk to the Air Force chow hall every day because, man, y'all had the best chow. But growing up the way that you did, and you said you didn't get to watch cartoons and stuff, you probably didn't get much TV at all. I don't know.
Not a ton.
But you were probably never exposed to any newsreels or anything like that showed this stuff. So you went in there cold, didn't know what to, never seen a war movie or never seen, that I can't quite wrap my head around that, because, man, that would be some culture shock.
Sure. So on one hand, I was definitely restricted in what I was exposed to as a child. And my mother, God bless her soul, she was so determined to not have her little boy fall into the cycle with everyone else, getting someone pregnant at a super early age, going on drugs, getting in jail, God bless her soul. She was super protective of her little boy. And I get it. As a parent, like, you want to do everything in your power to protect your child. I even remember when we would drive through certain parts of town, she would have me kneel on the floor of our 1990 Honda Accord and play with my toys or read my books, so I couldn't see the wine heads and the drug addicts and the prostitution that was outside. Like, she really didn't want me to see those types of things. So I grew up really restricted. But on the other hand, they really did believe in teaching me that, the world was just more than the streets of Chicago. So on one hand, we watched the news almost every night, the local news, world news. So I did have a frame of reference of what, the conflict in Kosovo, various atrocities that were happening across the world. However, war movies I was not allowed to watch. And so it was kind of this push and pull of, like, knowing what's out there, but not really experiencing it. And yes, it was 100% a culture shock.
How didn't you just go crazy? You went from being bubble wrapped for most of your life, protected like in a little shield, to getting bombed, to coming home. How do you not go nuts?
I don't know that I didn't.
Okay. Because I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm like, all right, so basically he was bubble wrapped as a child. Couldn't see anything, couldn't do anything, and then you went to Iraq. No, that doesn't compute to me.
There was a few years in between. So I joined at the age of 18. First duty station was Elmendorf Air Force Base, Alaska, right outside Anchorage. Ended up, getting married, having my daughter, and then I moved to Little Rock Air Force Base, and then on to Edwards Air Force Base in California, in the Mojave Desert. So I had some experience with the military and some training. However, I maintain there's no amount of prep or training or hardcore, anything that can prepare you for feeling your life in danger, being woken up in the middle of the night by Claxton alarms saying, hey, get down, take cover, we're under attack.
Now, did you choose the Air Force because they promised steak and eggs and not, what the other people get fed? Why did you choose the Air Force?
That's,
Did they say, "Oh, we give you steak and eggs and pay for the Air Force"? Is that why you did that? Because Richie, the producer, and Jake Army, they went different routes. What made you go Air Force?
that's a great question. As a child, I lived in the flight path of Midway Airport in Chicago. And I used to lay in the grass and look at the sky and watch the planes and the pattern kind of fly over. And I was like, man, I know I live this restrictive life, but everybody can't live this restrictive life. I wonder what cool stories do they have to tell? I wonder where they going. I wonder what have they seen? What have they done? And so growing up, I wanted to be an airline pilot. I wanted to fly heavies and take people all over the world. And so I joined the Air Force as a byproduct of not wanting my mother to pay for flight school. So, and I joined the Air Force, passed all the tests, but at the time my eyesight was too poor to fly. I was wearing glasses, and by the time I got eye surgery, PRK, I was too old to begin pilot training. So I was like, well, the situation is what it is. I'm in the Air Force, we're going to make the best of it. But that was the reasoning behind joining.
Okay. Now, what was your MOS?
I was an airport operations manager.
Okay.
So basically, we worked with the pilots to file their flight plans, understand their mission, make sure that work with the air traffic to make sure that they were on their way and had everything they needed, tracking the flights in and out and making sure that the airport was safe for operations, whether I was in Korea, whether, we were doing experimental aircraft at Edwards, and obviously supporting the warfighters in Iraq.
All right. Hey, we got a question.
Yes.
Popped up in here. Eleanor D. Rose FU. Thank you for this question. In light of all the news and events of the last couple of weeks, how do you compartmentalize it and move on with your days? And I guess this is to all of us. Logan, you're the guest. You pop off your first answer.
Oh my goodness, Eleanor, thanks for your question. And it's tough. You have to, and throughout history, there's always, really difficult things happening all over the world. I mean, people are always dying, and it's really difficult to reconcile that. From my perspective, you have to acknowledge, the evil in the world, that no matter where you are on the political spectrum, a life was lost, and that is not okay. I never condone war, mental illness, suicidal. So whatever the situation is, it is, I choose to acknowledge, man, someone out there is hurting, and it is difficult, and life can be hard, and that's okay. How I compartmentalize it is I've grown up, as I mentioned earlier, exposed to the news. My grandmother and I, we would sit down and we would watch the 5:30 news with Peter Jennings every night. And that was our thing. We really bonded over that. And you kind of understand, your heart goes out to them. You pray for them. You wish them the best. And at a certain point, there's not a lot you can do about it. You have to control how you navigate with the world, how you interact with other people, making sure that you are being the kindest, best version of yourself. And there's a lot of things that you can't control. I was taught pretty early in my military career, control the controllables, and, let the other cards fall as they may. And I would suggest that to you.
All right. Stephen?
Oh, I'm not touching it. You go ahead.
You're not touching it? Okay.
I made my comments weeks ago on this.
All right. There's been some horrible things that have happened. Thank you for commenting on that, Ryan. There's been horrible things that have happened, and not just with Charlie Kirk, we had the stabbing just days before that. And I pray about it. I pray to God that hearts are softened. We have too much hate in this world right now. I have seen evil. I have seen hate. I don't like it. And I turn to Jesus Christ. I pray for wisdom. I pray for compassion. And I pray for forgiveness, and pray to be strong enough to forgive those who are doing wrong, whether it's to me or to anybody else. And I pray for souls to be saved. That's how I deal with it. And do I get angry? Yes, I do. And then I try to pray about not being angry.
It's tough.
It is. But hopefully that will bring my walk with my Lord and Savior closer, and give me a better relationship with him, which in turn will give me a better relationship with humanity. And that's the way I do it. And thank you for that question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to keep rolling right along. You were in the Air Force. Come time to get out. Did you just jump, or did you have a plan?
Oh my goodness. That's a story. That's a hell of a story in and of itself. Yes, I jumped and I had a plan.
Good deal. Gotta have a plan.
But it's funny how things work. Sometimes you jump and you're like, oh crap, the circumstances that I thought was the landscape isn't. And so we're going to have to build this plane in the air and make it work. So, as I mentioned, I struggled coming back from Iraq, and I immediately went to therapy, within the month that I came back from Iraq. I knew that, there could be some lasting implications based on, other family members that I knew that had come back and they weren't quite right because they didn't deal with their issues. So went into therapy, but I was living in Belgium at the time, and because I wasn't super present with my family, I struggled in my home life, and ended up going through a divorce. And in that process, like, my entire life crumbled, and I didn't want it for myself. I didn't want it for my daughter, but it was kind of what was going to happen. And I went through another bout of suicidal ideations. I turned to the bottle. I turned to alcoholism. I wasn't sleeping. I was anxious. I was depressed. I was everything. And I was living in this foreign country and not truly able to enjoy it, because I had all of this mental trash, all of this mental warfare happening. And I struggled. And I promise I'm going to get to your question, but
hey, you're doing fine.
I remember viscerally walking one day to work after and drunk as a skunk at 3 a.m, couldn't sleep, just trying to get away from my demons of wanting to end the pain again. And as I was sobered up on this walk to work, I was thinking, if I kill myself, what example will my youngest, my 8-year-old, have for what to do when times get tough? What will she carry with her through her entire life as an option if I kill myself? And I didn't want that to be her story, because I wasn't strong enough to do it for myself. I said, okay, on this walk, I'm going to commit to myself that I'm not going to be an example of what to do and how to give up, but an example of how to pursue your dreams and fight and grind when times are difficult and life doesn't go exactly the way you planned. I'm going to be an example. I'm going to pursue my dream of working and directing live television events, something completely different from working at airports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see if I can make this dream a reality. And so I spent the next few years cold calling hundreds of directors, producers, productions, emailing thousands of people, trying to set myself up. So when my contract was over with the military, I served 12 years, I was able to have a plan and try to navigate these murky waters. I didn't know anyone in LA. I didn't have a network in television, but I had a vision and I was determined to attack it, for lack of a better term. I applied military strategy kind of at a subconscious level because I was just fresh out of the military on, how to attack your goals and dreams and make it come to fruition.
All right. And hey, I have to commend you. You went from possibly the most selfish thing that a person can do. And the reason that you didn't do it, that's got to be one of the most unselfish things that, because you did not want to set that example for your child. And that's, brother, I'm glad you're still here. I truly am.
And after the divorce, how is your relationship with your daughter still?
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. And that's what I was scared about, honestly, is that, because I grew up to a single mother, I was worried that I was going to have the same heartburn, or my daughter was going to have the same heartburn and issues that I had. But I chose to, while she didn't live full time with me, I chose to foster that relationship and build and make sure that, my mother never talked about her mental illness with me, mm-hmm. but I talk about my struggles with anxiety with her, and she'll tell me her troubles with anxiety. And turns out, like father, like daughter, she struggles with it in a very similar way. But because we have that relationship, it's changed everything. She knows all about my struggles with suicidal ideations and the tools that I've used to cope with it. So one of the things that I love sharing with, particularly with single moms, is they feel like they must be so strong for their children and they cannot show any vulnerability. But one of the things I share is, hey, one of the most beautiful things you can do is show vulnerability and how you deal with that struggle. Because if you do not show your children how to deal with that struggle, they will have to go through and figure it out for themselves. And sometimes they're going to deal with it in a wrong way.
Yeah, make it a teaching moment. Hey, we're going to take a quick pause here, and then we're going to get some questions. First of all, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us. And tonight we're talking with Logan, Air Force veteran, talking about, grew up on the south side of Chicago, joined the Air Force, got out of the Air Force, and now going to talk about more of his transition from the Air Force to civilian life. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe out there. Get this out to as many people as you can. Hit all the buttons. And also, if you're out there tonight and you're feeling the darkness and you do not think that you want to be here tomorrow, please don't do that. Tomorrow will not be as great a day without you in it. Pick up that telephone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, take option 1. Somebody will pick up that phone and talk to you. They will listen to you and get you resources that you need. If you don't want to make that phone call, get on your computer, your tablet, your phone, whatever, and hit up info@themisfitnation.com, jake@themisfitnation.com, or steven@themisfitnation.com. Drop your phone number in there. We'll call you. And we can have a chat. This is what we do. And, like I said, do not make a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because, those problems, they're just temporary. Reach out to someone. All right.
I can piggyback off that. I want to answer the question, but I just want to say, for those of you that maybe aren't military, or even if you're a veteran and you're not strong enough to dial 988, just call someone in your phone and say, hey, I need to talk. And just talk to someone, because it's like a pressure cooker. If you hold it in and you're dealing with this turmoil underneath, sometimes just talking to someone will ease the pressure off that pressure cooker, and you will feel lighter. Like, just pick up anyone in your phone, even if you don't think they'll care, they want to hear, they're too busy. It doesn't matter. Just please pick up the phone.
Yes. Talk to somebody.
Nobody should ever be too busy to answer the phone and
Exactly.
say hello and talk to you.
And you know what? We as humans are not designed to go through this world alone.
Yes.
And hey, thank you for popping that in there, Rich. If you think that someone's that might be having text or call them. Preemptive strike on that. Very good. All right, we're going to pop this question in here. It is from Mar 23 Drive 4. Logan, what was the moment you realized you had to take command of your own life? Thank you for that question.
That's a beautiful question. And, there's a few moments. One in particular, when I was in Iraq and the mortars were flying in, and I am hiding in a concrete bunker with, 5 or 6 of my best friends. And I'm like, okay, if I make it out of this hell, I definitely can't live in a comfort zone. I definitely can't just continue living life as normal. And so, to one degree, I came back and I struggled mentally with connecting all the pieces to make it happen. But on the other hand, when I came back, I was like, okay, if I am given, and I still feel this viscerally to my core, that each morning when I wake up, I feel like my skin is on fire, because I have been given an opportunity that so many of our brothers and sisters didn't get. I flew out of that country. I am able to continue life. And so I felt like it was a personal obligation because I was given this maybe time extension, maybe whatever you want to call it, because I was given this, I need to do something with it. And I feel like every day that I have in life now is so beautiful and extra. And it is my goal. One of the reasons that I do motivational speaking now, and I am a performance integrated growth strategist, is I need to touch someone's life every single day, because that is why I made it out there. I believe that is my purpose, to share my story of adversity and, growing up in the cult and going through depression and anxiety to help someone else. So to answer the question, there's been a few times in my life that is really kind of highlighted, hey, you need to do something and give back and take control. But that was probably the biggest, most defining, when I was in Iraq, thinking that, if I get this opportunity, I need to do something with it.
That's right. You survived. You were given a gift.
Big time.
Don't spoil it.
Big time.
That brings us to another question here. You and I 76. How did your experiences in a cult shape the way you identify, or shape the way you view identity and freedom today? And do you have animosity towards religion as a whole, or have you completely took the turn and went back to a church? Good question.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. There's so many paths in life. And I think that a lot of people, there are some people that will manipulate and pervert anything that could be beautiful. Mm-hmm. For example, there are people that manipulate love. There are people that manipulate people's, others' generosity. There's always, and, I wish there was a way around it, but there's always some sort of evil that's trying to offset the good. So I believe that in terms of religion, there's a lot of good that religion does. And, I believe in the golden rule. I believe, treat others how you want to be treated and treat yourself how you treat others, because people are a lot more kind to other people and so much more harsh to themselves. That's a whole nother topic. In terms of religion, I definitely identify as spiritual. I believe in God. I struggle with some church politics because I've seen some instances where leaders take advantage of people that are less well off. And that is tough for me. And that's just my journey and where I've come from, what I've seen. I believe that, if we look at religion as a higher construct and what the spirit of it is, taking care of others, feeding the poor, helping those less fortunate, I am all in. I believe it. I love it. And I think, as a society, we are more better off when we subscribe to those belief systems, as opposed to kind of the divisiveness. Yes. And how we separate, like, oh, you're from this part of the country. Oh, you look like this. You're supposed to do that. Like that. That's garbage.
And not for nothing, you don't need to go to church to be religious. So you don't need to affiliate yourself that way. You can pick up a book. You can read what you want to read. You can learn what you want to learn and praise what you want to praise. You do not need to go through a door, give a donation, and listen to somebody chat to you. You can do that at home. You can have it yourself. You don't need to have a church. You don't need to have a building to go to.
It's a personal relationship for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Cagney, we got a question for you.
Yes, I'm in the witness protection program for a couple of days. I am not in the regular spot. I won't tell you where I am. You can guess if you like, or whatever turns you on. But yeah, definitely new surroundings for me tonight.
And hey, for those of you, Mrs. Cagney is with him. So
she's sitting here saying, "What the hell is he talking about?" But I brought my shirt, so I look like me, just in a different house.
Oh, hey, I completely understand. So let's talk about this directing stuff. Have you directed anything I've seen?
I've definitely been a part of some productions that you may or may not have seen or glanced at. I specialize in sports highlight shows, concerts, corporate events. I've done fashion shows for streaming and broadcast. I've been a part of 2 World Series, 1 Super Bowl.
Nice.
I've done a lot of LA sports at all levels, collegiate, pro. And I've directed multiple French Opens, Australian Opens, pregame, postgame shows, things of that nature. I primarily work with the Tennis Channel and do a lot of stuff with them in LA, all over the world. So that's what I do in terms of my directing work.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. This comes from a fan. We need more baseball.
Okay. They're trying to give you less baseball with the pitch clocks and shortening up the games. And
no. we need more
It's
baseball.
going to be like football sooner or later. Football's going to become tag football or flag football sooner or later, so nobody gets hurt and nobody cries. So
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of baseball, and that's just.
I grew up a diehard Cubbies fan.
You on the South Side, and you a Cubs fan.
I was a Cubs fan. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm surprised.
I grew up in the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire.
Oh
years.
yeah, but still, I mean, I bet you didn't show them Cubs colors when you was out walking around, did you?
Well, I couldn't because I wasn't allowed to watch sports, so I couldn't.
Okay.
Sports
all right.
paraphernalia. So like it was interesting. I had you'll appreciate the story. I had a little like radio that I snuck in the house, and I would listen to Cubs games on the radio when I was a kid, and I knew like I would get crucified if I did, but WGN in Chicago, and
I'm a Cardinals fan, so I am definitely not a Cubs fan. But I would tune in to WGN just to listen to Harry Carey.
Legend.
Yes, he was a definite legend. We're going to get this next question that comes up, and then I got some more directing questions for you.
I love it.
Well, there was one before that too, but go ahead, take this one.
From Henry Not Hank. What lessons from your military service have helped you rebuild after trauma? Great question, Henry Not Hank.
Henry Not Hank, I appreciate that. So specific lessons, it's hard to pinpoint because, when you look at military service, there's so much that goes into each duty assignment, your relationship with people, your basic training, Iraq, Korea, Belgium. It's so much that kind of the lines and lessons get blurred. But one of the things that I take away is that as military members, as people, as humanity, we go through so much in life. And while some of us have crazy, layered, wild stories, some of us also, our trauma goes deep. And it might not be as elongated as mine, but no one gets through this life, unscathed, for lack of a better term. Like there's something that happens. And so one of the things that being in the military taught me was that we all come from different walks of life. We all come from different backgrounds. We've all gone through something. And whatever our trauma is, being in the military has shown me that we are all far stronger than what we believe. Mm-hmm. We have all more resilience, and we are better together as a community. We are stronger together when we bond together and we help each other through trauma, through tough situations. If someone's down, like reach out for help. As military guys, and brothers and sisters, yes, we're going to be hard on you. Sometimes we're going to make fun of you. Sometimes we're going to rib you a little bit. We're going to give you some, we're going to give you some poop for whatever you're going through.
Oh yeah.
We will never leave you there. And that is what I love about this community.
Yeah. And, there's, and I used to say, I had people in my unit that, I wouldn't dump water on them if they was on fire. But would I ever leave them behind? Never. They are my brother or my sister, and they would do the same for me. And, you can have a disagreement and still love one another.
I think people can lose sight of that.
Yes.
But I think it still reigns true. If I call you and say, hey, I need you, guess what? I know they're going to be there for me.
Yes. Another question's popping in. Man, he's.
That was the one I said you missed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dallas Sucks 43 wants to know, how do you guide others to process pain without getting lost in it?
You know, that's also an excellent question, because you have to, and this is something that I've learned in marriage, you know, empathizing with your partner and being there for them without completely, you know, making them feel seen, making them feel heard, making them feel felt, without completely getting emotionally drug into it that you are not functional. It's it's something to navigate. And I think that comes with resiliency, that comes with time and effort. A lot of my friends and people that I'm coaching, like I said, we're all going through some sort of trauma. You have to empathize. But one of the things that I lost, you know, I've explored a lot of religions. And one of the things that I love about Zen Buddhism is this idea of not being attached to a feeling or emotion, or buoyancy and resiliency, kind of being the rock as the wave of emotions kind of splashes over you. And sometimes the tide is really high and you feel it and you're in it. But know that, guess what? You know, this too shall pass, and the tide will once again subside, and you're going to be okay, because you are that rock, you are that energy, you are that spirit. Knowing that, you know, I'm in this really privileged position where someone has chosen me to help them strategize or coach them through the situation, knowing that they will 100% get to the other side. It's just a temporary setback. That is really special.
Awesome. Yeah. Temporary setbacks. Everything's temporary. Another question here from Mikey. Liked it. F Mikey.
Okay.
Hey, Misfit Nation, I got to give y'all props on your handles here. This is pretty badass. What message do you want veterans or trauma survivors struggling with right now to hear?
Oh my goodness. So there's so many levels to it, but I think something that's not spoken about is identity. Who you are to your core. What do you tell yourself when you are by yourself? And so many people feel like, man, I've gone through this really tough thing. I'm struggling. And that's okay. But that does not mean you are defined. And your future is determined by the things that you've gone through. You can choose to be a different person tomorrow. You can choose to not, you know, I've experienced anxiety. I've experienced suicidal ideations. I've experienced really intense depression. But that does not mean that's who I choose to be. That is not how I choose to navigate the world. I still choose at my identity, at my core, to give back to others, to be a light in some cases when there's a lot of darkness around and a lot of negativity. You know what? I'm still, even though I'm going through this trauma and this really shitty situation, guess what? I'm going to smile and I'm going to be nice to the people at the grocery store, because they're just trying to make a living. They're earning their money. I'm not going to make their day worse by dumping whatever I have on them. So if you're going on through trauma, and like, that's life, let's face it, we have ups and we have downs, but making a choice to not let that define who you are, but instead let it propel you to make an impact to other people. Use that to touch other people.
Yes.
And when you live in a place of gratitude and you're like, you know what, I've been through some stuff and it wasn't pleasant, but guess what? I am so thankful to be here. I'm so thankful to have what I have, because it could be so much worse. I could have not made it out alive. I could have, you know, I could not be, I'm pretty effed up upstairs, but I could be more effed up. You know what I mean?
Hey,
we
yeah.
Hey,
you're talking to two professionals here. So,
I love it. So living in that state of gratitude, like it already, just that moment amongst the three of us, living in a state of gratitude, it changes the energy. It changes your aura, your elevation, like, and that changes your perspective on life. Guess what? Now you can make it through another 15, 20, 30 minutes. You can get through the day. And if you keep that going, guess what? You're going to make an amazing life.
Yeah. And,
I always think of it as, today you have a shitty day. You wake up tomorrow the day you got to make it better. That's all. There's always tomorrow. You can always make it better. You can go up from there.
And I have found that there's a couple things that I try to do is always say please and thank you, especially to like cashiers, servers, anybody like that. And somebody told me a long time ago, one of the most beautiful sounds that somebody can hear is the sound of someone saying their name. They wear a name tag for a reason. Call them by their name, tell them thank you and add their name on there. And a lot of times they could be in a crappy mood, but for that moment, they'll smile. And maybe the next time they come over to my table, maybe they get a little boost of joy, or maybe they'll think about that later and smile and be happy and return the favor by being nice to somebody else. Nice begets nice.
That's what life is about.
That's what it's about. That is what it's about.
Yeah, but what if you live in my world where you don't remember names? You could tell me your name and I'll talk to you for 20 minutes, and 25 minutes later I'll be like, what was his name again? Because I have no clue. I do not retain names.
Well, when
Unless
somebody
tells you, I do not retain names.
When somebody tells you their name, when you say nice to meet you, like if you say, if you introduce yourself to me and say, hey, my name is Steven, I say, Steven, it's nice to meet you. And right there, I know, hey, the bald guy with the glasses, that's Steven.
Yeah, but in 5 minutes, if I didn't know your name was Jake and I didn't see your name there, I would be, okay, what's the name again? Because I've done it for the last week at a new store I work at.
Hey,
10 guys, and I look at them like, what the hell's his name? What the hell's his name? Hey, you come here a second. I can't remember a name. They do not retain. Faces, dates, I'm good. Names, I'm horrible.
But hey, you know what they say? You call me anything late for supper.
So, and that's what I told them. They're like, is it Steven? Is it Stefan? I'm like, you can call me a-hole. I answer it. Doesn't matter.
Oh.
I will challenge you, Stephen, and say that it is something that you can change if you want to. It requires practice.
I'm 56 years old and my brain is dry. It's not something changing right now.
Plasticity is real, my friend. You can change if you want to. That's where belief comes in. You got to believe in yourself, brother. You can change if you want to. It's never too late to change.
Yes. Well, hey, Logan.
Yes, sir.
This hour has flown by.
Oh my God. It's over? What?
We're getting there, brother.
Oh.
We are getting there. We are
because
getting
Jake
there.
kept talking and Jake buffers and we just get lost there,
Hey, I didn't buffer as bad as I usually do, though.
That was a very good chat. We moved very quick.
It moved along very quick. I do have a question for in your directing and all that. Drop some names, man. Who's some folks that you met out there? Like, and who's you don't have to tell us, who the buttholes are, but who that you didn't expect would be like a really nice super person, and they are.
I've done a lot of corporate events and met some really great people. I've met Tony Blair. He was super kind. I've met I'm not a Patriots fan, but not Tony Romo. Patriots guy, not Tony Bradshaw. Patriots guy.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yes, he was super nice.
See, names.
All right.
Yeah, but who remembers Tom Brady? I mean, you know.
I've met Snoop. He was very, very kind. Demi Lovato, Kelly Clarkson. Some of those folks are. I mean, you know, at least in my industry, you don't make it very far being a butthole. You typically, those that are, you know, kind of known for their philanthropy, known for like wanting to give back and taking time to, you know, acknowledge people and just be a real human. They typically go far. So I've been fortunate to work with a lot of great artists and you know, political figures and things like that. And you know, most of them have been really kind. There have been a few that are more curt, if you will, and I'm not going to name names, but you know, I don't know if they were having a bad day or whatever the situation is, but you know, we're all professionals. We go and do our job and knock it out of the park every day. So
I completely understand. Now we're going to ask you some questions.
Please. That's what I'm here for.
All right. And we ask this of all of our guests, so don't feel special. So what's 3 things that Logan has to do every day, non-negotiable, that you have to do every day or your day is not complete?
My day is not complete if I don't do something for myself. I love taking care of others. You know, I'm kind of a giver in that way, and I want to make sure people are well, but I know I need to feed myself in terms of whether it's, you know, watch something funny and make myself laugh, or learn something new to help, you know, my business grow, or, you know I need to feed myself in whatever that looks like, whether it's creativity, whether it's personal growth. Like, I will not let a day go by without feeding myself something. And I'm just kind of a naturally curious person, so I'm always looking for like a weird fact or figure, you know, something in that way. Let's see. A day can't go by. Well, it's interesting. In the cult growing up, they made us fast every Friday and Sunday. So now it's pretty important to me that I eat.
Okay.
I'm eating. And getting outside, seeing the fresh air, and kind of taking a moment for myself, even in that way, you know, just acknowledging that I'm alive, get some fresh air. In my profession, working in a control room for sometimes 10, 15 hours at a time, sometimes I don't get a ton of you know, outside time, but I do love to just go outside, take a moment, look at the sky, look at the trees, you know, take some deep breaths and relax my nervous system. I still struggle with some tremors from Iraq, from some of the circumstances, and just being outside helps me relax and relax my nervous system, and, you know, put things in perspective. Like, hey, you know what? Watching sunrises, sunsets, spending time with people you love, that is what matters.
All right. Sounds great. Now, if somebody wants to look at some of your content or contact you, how are they going to do that?
Yes, the LoganUnlimited.com is my website. It's under refurbishment, but it's still active.
Okay.
LOGAN Unlimited, and I am at the Logan Unlimited on socials as well.
All right.
Advice. I am tackling things that maybe people don't like to hear, you know, talking about discipline, talking about mental resiliency. So those things are important to me, and I think you know, everyone really appreciates it.
I like your little snippets on Instagram.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do. Well, hey, Misfit Nation, thank you for coming, hanging out with us tonight. And hey, ToosDay Crue, you shined again. Love the questions. They were great questions. Kept us moving along. Thank you for hanging out. Logan, thank you. You have an amazing story.
We're just getting started, ToosDay Crue. Let's keep it going.
Hey, when you do something that's on a big marquee somewhere out in Hollywood or what, hit us back up again. We'll get you on here again. We'll talk about that experience and all the hard work that you had to do to get that done.
I appreciate that. I'm in the middle of writing my book and my memoirs, so maybe we'll come back, make something happen. And
when you get that book done, come on, we'll pop that book. We'll push that book for you.
God bless you guys.
Hey, bless you, Misfit Nation. God bless you. Remember, Jesus loves you, and we love you too.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.